That was the slowest one yet.
Yeah, that was slow. Sorry about that, guys. We are back. We are back. We had a little hiatus. We had a little hiatus. Little hiatus. Sorry about that, boys. We had a little hiatus. We've been busy at work. So we're back, and we should be back every Monday. I'm Jack Dorr. This is Frank Longa. How you doing tonight, Frank?
Doing good, man. Just got done playing a little bit of golf today. Shot pretty low. Shot a 79 today. I actually played with my dad. My dad was pumped. He's like, "Wait, this is probably the first time you broke 80 in front of me." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I thought you were lying this whole time," with like a little smirk. So it was pretty cool to actually like break 80 in front of your dad. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good when you're playing with your pops to play a good game. I mean, for me, not luckily actually, when I play with my father, I play the most horrendous round of golf because he's
Same.
always
I'm so
critiquing
nervous.
me. Yeah, I'm so nervous too.
Yeah, I
'cause
hate to Brett. Like I always say it. Like I'm like I always get nervous around you. He's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Oh no!" Like I feel like I should play better and show
Right.
off and make you happy. Like,
You know, my
dad's like,
dad.
I don't care. I shot a 103 in front of you the other day.
Right, and my dad, he's been playing golf. He's 64, pretty much since he was 10 years old. So for 54 years, and he kind of taught me how to play golf. But the thing is, I'm a lefty, he's a righty, so it's really hard to like listen to what he's critiquing you, and then when you try to do it, it doesn't work out at all. But yeah, I mean, it's when I have these scramble tournaments with my father. Dude, it's horrible. It's not good at all. I'm a better golfer than I expect than I see myself. So, but yeah, I mean, it's been a long time. It's gonna be a quick show tonight because we got a lot of stuff to do. But let's talk about a few things that we wanted to talk about. Frank, who do you think the best big name golfer to never win a major is?
So I have two guys on this one right now, and I think the number one's shocking, and I think probably older heads will know this, but Greg Norman. I mean, Greg Norman is like known the shark. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was the number one golfer, I think, for like 100 weeks back in like the late 80s, early 90s. But to be the number one golfer and never win a major, I think is like kind of shocking in a way. And how like he's the live guy, and everybody's like, "Oh, he was so good, he was so good." But then you like turn around and go, "Wait a second, like no major, like
Right.
Wait a second, that's weird." And then you start like reading on it. It's like, dude, this guy was so good, but just never got like he was always top 5 in majors, but never won one. And I thought that was really interesting. Because I know you and I talked about it last week, and we were just having a conversation about it, and we started Googling it, and we're like, "Whoa, that's a shocker! That's a shocker! That's a shocker!" And person that's pretty newer, I thought Ricky Fowler was kind of shocking. I mean, he was pretty high up there, and I mean, everybody loves Ricky, but it's like, damn, dude, I really want him to win one. And I remember following him back in like 2014, and I'm like, dude, this kid's gonna win one in like 2 years. Like he's so good, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Never won one. Here we are, like 10 years later, and still hasn't won one yet.
Yeah, I think for me, I think Luke Donald is a name that hasn't really is always he's announced in the leaderboards, and he's never really won any major tournaments, and he was the world number one in golf rankings without a major victory in his name, which is crazy to think because you would think being the world number one golfer, bless you, you have to have all these like accolades, like you won the Masters, you won the BMW, all these not big name tournaments, and the fact that you're world number one without any of these major tournament wins is insane to me because it just goes to show you're a good golfer, but you just can't. I mean, just like Franklin from Penn State, he can't win the big game.
Can't win the big game. I mean, he had a winning percentage that was pretty high, but then you look at all his, top 10, I think, teams that he played against, he was like 1 in like what was it, like 15?
Yeah, 1 to
Like
15.
if you need to win the big one in my eyes to be like cemented in that. And I think Nick Saban had like over 80%. I mean, that's good.
Mhm.
80%, or like I think it was like 78 or something. So like basically 3/4. So every three big like high ranked games, you win 3 out of the 4. That's why you're the GOAT. And I think that's a huge thing with those. Like, I feel like a lot with Franklin and other coaches and just guys in general in golf, I think they overthink the game for these big moments. They're like, oh well, let me focus on this, let me focus on that.
Right.
Or guys go, oh, let me try to outsmart the coach instead of just playing your game. And I think that's like the huge thing with all sports. You can tell that sometimes coaches outcoach themselves,
Yeah.
and golfers can outdo themselves and try to get cute, or they go back too much. Just play your game, man.
Yeah, because like I was listening to podcasts and like Scotty Scheffler is one of the obviously he's world number one right now. He has a few. He has he almost has the big what is it called, Grand Slam.
Mhm.
But like what people don't understand about golf is you are always trying to perfect your game, right?
Yeah,
And maybe one tournament, the way you're swinging through a ball or the way you're putting isn't working, you kind of adjust it, or that's just a fluke. And then when you try to do it again in another tournament, it could just be completely wrong. So it just really goes to show like these
yeah,
golfers, these big name golfers are always trying to perfect their game and win the big one because it's one of those sports that, obviously every golfer who's in, T30 gets a payout. But really, if you really think about it, you have like, I don't know, 200, 300 people a day watching you play in these major tournaments.
yeah,
And you got to think the anxiety level is at a peak. I know we don't want to talk about it, but like when we were watching the Ryder Cup, they had the whoop on, was it JT, Justin
hmm
Thomas? And like his heart rate didn't change at all. So
yeah,
like you would think me being, your weekend golfer, you would think like if you had an opportunity to, win this big tournament and like it can be by a putt, it can be by a drive. Like it really there's a lot that goes into it that,
yeah.
you can always be top 5 and get a pay cut, but you can't win it all. So it just really goes to show how challenging the sport of golf is, even for these
Yeah,
guys
I mean,
that are in the
I
sport.
know Europe team, they had some comedians go out to the golf course and they're like, hey, like they literally paid like comedians, and I forget which podcast it is, but it is a golf podcast. But they're all comedians too, and they try to do the back off challenge. Like those guys that I'm talking about
Mhm.
that do the back off
Yeah.
challenges. Well, they got them and a couple other comedians like Tony and all them, like Hinchcliffe and everything, and they literally stood behind every single European golfer when they were playing, and they just started rattling them, just started talking shit, and just like, and like they had like the guys like, yeah, there was a couple guys that we got in our head and they didn't make the team. And
Right.
then there was guys like Fleetwood that were just making darts. Every time we talked more and more shit, better he got. So it was
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, like Fleetwood could handle the, shit talking from the fans. I thought that was really cool that like that's what one of the comedians were talking about. They're like, yeah, I mean, I went hard. I looked in history of him just to make fun of him about everything I could. And it was like pretty interesting to like see that.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show how psychotic these golfers are. That certain golfers, if you try to push and pull them and try to get them off their focus, then they'll react to it. But at the majority of the time, they're just focused. They are, you know, eagle eye. Boom! This is what I need to do. This is how I need to accomplish it.
It's that
So
Kobe focus, like, like I
right.
remember one time, and I was like in high school at this point, and Kobe was in, I think, Madison Square Garden, and he was sitting there, and he had Chris Rock right next to him, and Chris Rock was trying, you could tell, was just trying to get him to crack a smile, was just talking, and you could tell Chris Rock was laughing at himself because he was trying to get Kobe, but Kobe had just this laser focus, and he was sitting on the side just waiting to be subbed in, and there was just nothing that Chris could say that could get him off this focus, and it was
Right.
just so funny. It's
This
just like
is
some of those guys just they get in that, mentality, and it's just like, damn. And you know who else I'm starting to see that could do that is Scheffler. Like when he's mad or like anything, like you don't
right.
ever see him lose his temper
Mhm.
ever. You never see him get overjoyous. It's just always even keel, even keel, even keel until probably the last hole. And then he'll get emotional if he knows it's just a slam dunk, he already won. Or if he's still like, one, like if there's one hole left and he's tied with someone, you just see him even keel all the way through until that ball hits the bottom of the hole. And I always see that with like always like the best of the best golfers, I feel like.
100%. I mean, yeah, without a doubt in my mind, that is 100% accurate.
Yeah.
But another thing that I want to talk about is, has the PGA Tour gotten too corporate and less fan friendly? I think the perfect example of this is the Ryder Cup, right?
Uh-huh.
Because if you're in reality, the Ryder Cup it's a big tournament, but it's not like you're yes, they're trying to win, obviously, but it's not like the Masters, where you can't have your phone on the course if you're a
Mhm.
bystander. But obviously, in the Ryder Cup, if people don't know what the Ryder Cup is, it's Europe versus America, and it's kind of like neck and neck. They try to talk so much shit to the players to get them off their focus.
Mhm.
And yes, there is some chirping, obviously, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like what happened during this Ryder Cup, it just got way too out of hand, and the PGA Tour got too corporate about it and just less fan friendly. I don't know what your thoughts on this are.
I don't think it's like I look at it a little differently. I feel like it's a gentleman's game no matter what. And I think the Ryder
100%.
Cup got a little crazy this year, but also it got really bad in Italy. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I mean, I know a little bit of Italian, and I heard a couple of things that was said, and I'm like, damn, how did they allow that on TV? But it wasn't English, so we
Right.
don't know what some of the things were said, but in America and all the European guys know what they're saying because they probably speak multiple languages. Um, but we don't know what they said over in Europe. We don't know, you know what I mean? And it got kind of ugly in that kind of way. But at the same time, like the same shit was said. And also you gotta also realize the Ryder Cup was in Long Island.
Yeah.
Like that's another thing. Like you knew what you were signing up for, correct? Like it
Exactly.
was in Long Island. You know where it was. You know it's in New York. And New York's a tough city. And there's a lot like and I'm not like, nailing New York at all. Like I love that kind of like neighborhood kind of feel to New York. I love the Long Island. I love how New York is because they're very proud New Yorkers. And being proud of being a New Yorker is also being proud of being American kind of thing too.
Right.
And they're gonna fight for their colors. And I don't care what you say. Did it get a little out of hand? Yeah, a little bit. But like also these guys are pros and they should have knew what they were getting themselves into. And they might have should have been warned, like, hey, this is gonna be in Long Island. They're gonna say some shit. Now, do I think the cup should have been thrown at Ricky Fowler's head? And absolutely not. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Um, did that go too far? Absolutely. Do I think that the things that was said, about what's his name, Larry's weight and stuff, it's like childish
Yeah.
conversation. It's just stupid. Uh, um, but there were some things like, hey, you could show up and be like, Rory, are you sure about this? Blah blah blah. And then Rory turning around telling the guy to shut the fuck up. It's like, okay, that's when it turned on. People are like, oh, you're gonna say that to me. The fans were like, oh, you can tell us to shut the fuck up,
Right.
but you can't take the heat. So that's the other thing with that problem. It's like, okay, guys, you're pros. I get it. I understand. but you're just egging it on now at this point. The best way to shut them up is just put a ball in the hole, and I think
Yeah.
Fleetwood did that beautifully. I think Fleetwood Mac is probably one of the best duos I have ever seen in a Ryder Cup.
1000%.
I was like, these guys are unstoppable. I loved watching those two play, and I'm a golf fan at heart. And yeah, do I want to see USA win? But watching Fleetwood Mac play, I was like, dude, these guys are lights out. There's just no stopping these guys.
Oh yeah.
So going back to, is it too corporate? I mean, what's the first thing you think about when you Masters and um you know, corporate? You have only two. You have Mercedes and you have Rolex.
Yeah.
What do you think
True.
about the Scottsdale Open?
Waste management.
Waste
Yeah.
management, and it's known as the Waste Management
Right.
Open, and it's awesome. And Waste Management definitely is known for their party and that.
For sure.
I don't think that's the corporate event. That is more of like, yo, booze up, have a good time. I know some corporations go there and take their clients there just to get boozy and have a good time.
Well, yeah, you see Joel Damon on the 18th just take his shirt off and start running when he made that par.
Yeah, but like, here's my thing: is I don't want that at the Masters.
No.
I don't want that at the U.S. Open. I don't want. There's a time and place for everything, and that's what I think golf really needs to figure out. Because Live is like, oh, we party every single time. Well, I like it at times, but not like every single week. It's like, oh, it's just college kids just wanting to go out and drink and watch golfers play.
Oh yeah.
I think the Ryder Cup was great in a way. I think it was like overhyped of oh, how horrible the fans were. I think that's a little overhyped. I think that's a little, bullshit in a way, because they were like, oh, they were way too rowdy, blah blah blah. And it was just like, okay, you're just trying to yell at people for no reason.
Yeah.
Because also Rory McIlroy did turn around and say, shut the fuck up. But at the same time, it's don't throw a beer bottle at someone's wife's head. You should get your ass.
That goes a little too far.
Like,
yeah, I mean, here's a perfect example. What you said is like when I'm sure Team Europe's fans are cursing us out, but like you said, we can't understand what they're saying because we speak English, right? So, I mean, you can't really hold them accountable because obviously they're going to say some raunchy shit, right? But like we can't understand a single thing they're saying, so there's not much for us to.
I laugh all the time about it because I'm like, dude, if you heard some of the shit that they said, it's like actually kind of funny.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it's like, and like sometimes like I love like, yeah, and I know you have boys and you roast each other to the point like your girlfriends are like, why are you guys so mean to each other? And it's like, no, it's not really mean. It's just you roast, like, and it's just having a good time. I feel like if you're a player, and I mean, trust me, like you have hundreds of thousands of people watching you play in the Ryder Cup. I never been in that situation, probably never will be in a situation like that. But I feel like you got to sort of go in there and just like act like it's a roast and just laugh about it. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, I agree.
But with corporations, I don't think it's a big deal as long as the PGA can push back and be like, "Shut up!" Like, what kind of place what kind of tournament this is. This is in Long Island. You knew where it was going to be at. You knew how loud the crowds are going to be. You knew how, you know what I mean? Like, that's when the PGA could just sort of push back on the corporate sponsors and laugh. The only thing that I am afraid of is the Masters or any big tournament like US Open or anything. I'm afraid of them starting to turn to like, how Ticketmaster does it. They'll, big corporations will go start buying out these things and then they're giving them out to all their clients. And then the people that are actually true fans are getting the ass end of it. And they're like, oh, I have to spend, $600 for one day and then $600 every single day.
Yeah.
And I think the Masters does it right. Like they're like, hey, put your email in, do this, do that, and keep, get in the lottery. And I think that's the best way to do it. And I think a lot of other people, I think even like sporting events concerts to, you name it, you guessed it, and then if they see your ticket with your serial number resold,
Mm-hmm.
you should be automatically not be able to see that person again in concert.
No, I agree.
Because spending like $50,000 for Taylor Swift tickets is absurd.
Yeah, it's just corporate America. Like,
yeah, people are starting to figure out that they can make monies off of tickets, and it's just getting to
it's
the
kind of
point.
ridiculous because, like, back in the day, a ticket for a tournament or for a concert of any sort, a big name was like maybe $50. Yeah, maybe $100. Like, it wasn't anything crazy, but yeah, now you're going, you're going to a country concert, right? And each ticket's like $250 for like nosebleed seats. It's just actually insanity.
Yeah.
But again, that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a two-edged question, right? One, what would have happened if Tiger Woods never got injured, right? And the second portion of that, do we think Tiger Woods is done? Do we think he's going to be playing in any PGA Tour events in the near future? Because I asked this because it came out last week that Tiger Woods just had his 8th back surgery recently, and he's going to be out of commission again. But like, I really do think if the whole situation with the car accident, blah blah blah, if he never got injured, we wouldn't see all these back surgeries. We wouldn't see him, playing one day, like playing the first day of a tournament and then disqualifying himself. Like, we wouldn't have seen that because he would be health. And granted, he is 48, 49 years old now, almost 50. So, he's hitting that peak of, okay, I want to be on the senior tour. But I feel like if he never had that accident where he crashed his car into the tree, this is a different story.
I feel like I hate playing these things because, what if my, aunt had wheels, she would be just a bike. But I just don't think, like, my heart says he can play, but my brain's like, let Charlie sort of take this over. Let that hype build.
Yeah.
I would rather have him out of the headlines. I want to see where Charlie goes. I'm hearing great things about Charlie through podcasts and stuff like that. I think this is the thing with Tiger. I think he only knows golf and how to be a professional golfer, that he'll never try to let it go because he was born and raised, I'm a golfer, I'm a golfer, I'm a golfer.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at, like, with that. I don't think he'll ever be out of golf. I always think that maybe he'll do, something. Maybe you never know. He might go to YouTube golf. Like, he's been doing a couple things with YouTube golf.
Yeah. I guess my perspective on this is, he was such an iconic golfer. He kind of changed the sport of golf when he was 19 years old, winning major tournaments. Right.
Yeah.
It's going to be, yes. And this is playing devil's advocate, right? It's going to be, obviously, if he never got in that accident, he wouldn't be not playing full tournaments and things like that. His golf game would be completely different. That's
I don't think if that car accident ever happened, he would have been in another car accident.
Right.
That's my process, because he was already on drugs and shit. So my thing is, I think Tiger is the best. He's the GOAT. I don't think anybody's going to ever replace him. But my thing is, if that car crash ever happens, there would have been something else.
Yeah, and like the thing is, like, you're a little older than I am, but like, you and your father probably grew up you probably watched golf tournaments, and you'd always see Tiger Woods in the leaderboard. You would always see him up there. He probably was the reason. Well, obviously your dad, but also, like, I want to be like Tiger. Like, how people say I want to be like Mike Jordan one day. I want to be like, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar one day.
Everybody want to be like a Mike.
Right. And I think Tiger Woods is an iconic persona for young golfers like myself. I think my cutoff right now, like at 26, is like the cutoff where we know who Tiger Woods was. We knew what he was. Like we watched him blossom into like the great golfer he is. The Sunday Red, that was his thing. Like it's going to be, and you can say this about the NFL, right? You see Aaron Rodgers right now, he's playing quarterback. You see Russell Wilson. You see all these Kurt Warner or Kirk Cousins, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
All these iconic quarterbacks, golfers are now obviously getting older and they're stepping away from the game. It's going to be weird to not see Tiger Woods wearing his Sunday Red anymore. And granted, I think his peak was 2019. I mean, that comeback in 2019 when he won the Masters, that was amazing.
I think that was beautiful. I mean, it was perfect. Yeah. I think Charlie is going to sort of take the baton on this. I'm not saying he's going to be the next Tiger. I'm not saying that. I think he's going to be a good golfer. Yeah. Honestly, I do think he's going to be a good golfer. Do I think he's going to be Tiger-esque? No. It's unfair to put that on the kid.
That's big large shoes to fill. For him.
And I never ever want to that's like doing that to Bronny. Like, oh, he's gonna be the next LeBron James. Like, that's just so unfair. You know what I mean?
And I think what I've seen, I think Tiger Woods wants Charlie to become his own player, right?
And that's where I think we're never going to see Tiger on the PGA Tour again.
Well, and I think we will. Not playing in a tournament, right? Caddy. I think,
or like celebrity.
Yeah, I think once Charlie gets his tour card, Tiger Woods is going to be his caddy for a few years, and then he's going to get his own caddy. So that'd be cool to see both, father and son. I'm not sure how often that happens.
I don't think he'll be his caddy. Truthfully, I just don't think it's a great idea.
Right, and I think he wants Charlie to be in the spotlight, not himself. And you would think if you see Tiger Woods on a bag for his son, he's always going to be, the forefront of that. So we'll see what happens.
You never want to have a caddy that outshines the golfer.
Exactly, 100%. I agree with that.
Because then they'll be like, oh, Tiger told him. It's just going to be a disaster.
Yeah,
father-son duo, that would be a battle. I do think though that there's another. I think John Daly's son. I think he's
a golfer.
Yeah, I think he's going to be fighting for a card. I think it's just like fun. Like, I mean, I think it's always fun. Like after like 5 years or like 10 years with golf, baseball, football, you start seeing guys that are like, okay, like these guys were the best, but now you're seeing the new breed come in. Like, Jaden Daniels. I love watching him play. Bo Nix, just like all these guys that are playing. Yeah. And like, I remember when Jalen Hurts got on and I was like, I don't know. And then, he's playing amazing in Super Bowls. And I'm like, okay, because I was all on the train for Carson Wentz. So I was like, okay, he got us to one Holy Land, but now Carson Wentz is now considered old.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of funny. It's like, I remember when his rookie year and we were like, oh my God, this guy's amazing, blah, 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 blah. I can't wait when they can build around him. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, he got hurt. Okay, Nick Foles picks up. And then that happens. And then Carson Wentz was, injured for 2 years straight. And then we're like, oh, we got Jalen Hurts. And I'm like, what are we doing? We already have our franchise quarterback. And then that happens. And then you're like, oh my God, okay. And like how I look at it is just like with golf, like you're starting to see some of these younger guys play, and you're like, who is that? Who is that? Who is that?
Yeah.
And it's always really fun. And like I love Bo Nix. I mean, I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the rookie class.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's awesome. I really like how he plays, and I really like how he's fitting the system in New York. And I'm like, shit, as an Eagles fan, this sucks, but I really like Bo Nix.
Yeah.
No, you can't hate on him. Hate on him.
He's not a bad quarterback at all. No. One last and final topic, and then we'll have a few announcements. Do you think it would be sick if PGA Tour golfers were mic'd up during the tournaments? So hear me out. I'll go first because I obviously don't show them all the time because they're gonna be saying some shit that shouldn't be heard on live
Definitely
television.
with the culture that's out right now,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just so
Right.
scary.
But, like, my favorite videos on YouTube, the short reels are, like, you get Brandon Graham mic'd up. You get,
I think they I think they should do that. I think they should do it. I wish they could do it, how they do, like, Hard Knocks or mic'd up for the NFL. They do it with, like, what is it? First Tee? Is it First Tee? No, it's,
um,
the
um
Netflix special.
yeah,
I forget what it's called.
first Full Swing.
Full Swing. I wish they actually had them on the course, you know, doing it, and, like, you
Yeah,
could hear them go, "Oh, fuck," or, like, blah, 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 blah. Like, it would be kinda like, okay, now you're actually and, like, you could hear the caddy and golfer conversation.
right.
I don't want it live because sometimes the conversations with, a caddy and a golfer, it could sound really bad. Like, you could be ripping the caddy or the caddy could be ripping you, and, it's just their dynamic, and they get
Right.
it like, they might be like, "Hey, my bad about yelling at." It's a very private and
Intimate.
dynamic, relationship
Yeah.
with a caddy, I feel like, because sometimes a caddy's also their therapist, I feel like a lot of times. It's like, "Okay, you did really good on that hole, but let's just keep it even keel, blah, blah, blah." And if they're screwing up, they could go, "Yo, what are you doing?" And then,
Yeah.
the golfer might get pissed off at him and say some, like, fucked up shit, or the guy like, vice versa. But then, like, the media could take it off by storm and make it a bigger thing, and that's where golfers are gonna be like, "Absolutely not, I don't wanna be mic'd up," and blah, blah, blah. But if you have Full Swing and they could edit it like true golf fans that they are, and be like, "Yeah, this is what it's like to be high pressure stakes, this and this and this," and you know what I mean? So
Right.
that's what I think they should do. I don't think it should be live or what. I mean, we catch some things really funny on the tournaments already. Like,
Oh,
we
yeah.
heard really Scotty Scheffler fart
Yeah.
on
Exactly.
one hole, and then they like I forget who it was. I think it was PFT that asked him. He's like, "Yo, did you fart when you hit that ball?" He goes, "I did." That was me. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's like no, that's a good point. It's like it'd be cool to kind of hear that insight of the relationship between the golfer and caddy because obviously, they're constantly talking, while they're walking up to the ball, while they're
Yeah.
walking up to the tee box. Like they have this conversation, this dynamic that it would be cool to see that side of because, yes, there's some pushback from the golfer. Yes, there's some pushback from the caddy, but they all kind of combine and make the best player they can do. So I think it'd be really
Yeah.
cool. It just would have to be cautious because obviously how the media is today,
Yeah.
anything that is said is going to be
M
taking a way
Microscope.
different, yeah, way
Break it
different.
broken down.
Exactly, because
It's
people are
just
idiots and they just
yeah,
want the
it
clickbait.
just breaks down, and they could cut, mix up,
Yeah,
and that's the other thing is, like, that's the thing that would scare me is, like, is that. Like,
yeah,
I know there's a couple guys that, I have a couple of friends that are like they say things on the golf course, I'm like, "Holy shit, dude, you said that out loud?" And then
yeah,
there's guys that, like, are like, "Grr," and, like, they'll, like, do that noises, and they won't curse at all, and you're like, "Oh, he's pissed, watch
yeah.
out."
He's pissed,
Yeah.
or they just don't talk at all.
They just
Oh,
don't
that
talk at
guy's
all.
yeah,
That's what
he's
I do.
yeah,
I don't talk at all when I'm pissed off.
yeah.
And it's very hard for me to not talk.
Oh yeah, same. I can talk to a brick wall and have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, brief show tonight. I
Yeah.
know it's been a long hiatus for us. We just have been trying. We have our day jobs. We've just been busy since the new year, trying to figure it all out.
Trying to get everything done before the New Year is always fun.
Exactly. Yeah. This is kind of like crunch time. We will be back every Monday from here on out. We'll make, a comment on social media if we're not going live, but we're going to try to be live every Monday night until the football season's over. And then we go back to Sunday night. Right now, this is kind of the dead season for golf. Yes, there's still some hot topics talking about TGL is going to be starting up shortly.
I love TGL.
Yeah, TGL is going to be
something
fun
to do on a Tuesday night.
Exactly. Rather than watch the news, you can watch TGL.
Yes.
One thing I wanted to make comment is the Weekend's Last Beer podcast will be attending the Strictly Beers golf outing that is coming up on Monday, November 3rd. So we will be
November 4th.
3rd.
Oh, 3rd?
The 3rd.
Okay.
31st is Friday. 1st is Saturday. 2nd is Sunday. 3rd is Monday.
I'm pretty sure it's the 4th, dude.
It's the 3rd.
Oh, shit, it is the 3rd. I gotta let my boy know. Shit. I told him
anyway, we will be there at the Fillmore Golf Club, Country Club. And hopefully we will be making some content. Without further ado, thank you for listening to Strictly Weekend's Last Beer. We love you guys and appreciate viewership tonight. Have a good night.
See you guys.
Play 18. Don't let her know. Have a good one.